So, in the world of logistics, there's this huge, hidden problem that quietly drains millions of dollars from companies every single year. Today, we're going to break down an AI system called ARIA that's designed to solve it. And as you'll see, this isn't just about making things faster. It's about building a system with genuine intelligence.
So just how big is this problem? Well, this number, it says it all. 5 to 15%. That's the normal error rate when people process logistics invoices by hand. Think about that. For every 100 invoices a company pays, as many as 15 could be wrong. We're talking duplicate payments, fraud that goes totally unnoticed, or just money that vanishes into thin air. It's a massive financial leak hiding in plain sight.
Here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll get into something called the three-document problem. It's really the source of all the chaos. Then we'll introduce ARIA, the AI engine built to fix it. We're going to look under the hood to see how it actually thinks, walk through its architecture, and see the plan to get it up and running. And finally, we'll talk about the payoff, how this thing turns a boring old cost center into a powerhouse of intelligence.
Okay, so let's dive right into the core challenge here, the three-document problem. This is where it all starts. It's a messy, manual process that isn't just slow, it's actively costing companies money and creating risk with every single transaction.
So here's the mess we're talking about. You've got the lorry receipt from the shipper. You've got the proof of delivery from whoever received the goods, and then you have the invoice from the vendor. That's 3 different pieces of paper coming from 3 different places, often in 3 totally different formats. And to make sure payment is correct, all 3 have to line up perfectly. Trying to do that by hand, it's a total operational nightmare.
And this is what that nightmare actually looks like day to day. It's a 6-step, completely manual slog. Finance teams are literally chasing down documents from emails, scanning them, typing numbers into spreadsheets, and then just staring at them, hoping they spot a mistake. Every single one of these steps is a wide-open door for human error, delays, and serious financial risk.
But when you bring in an AI solution, well, the difference is just night and day. Just look at these numbers. The time it takes to approve an invoice drops from a week, sometimes more, down to less than 4 hours. And the error rate? It plummets from that scary 15% all the way down to less than 1%. This isn't just a small tweak, it's a complete game changer for the entire process.
So, now that we've laid out the problem, let's bring in the solution. Meet ARIA. This is the AI agent that was purpose-built from the ground up for exactly this kind of intelligent document matching and reasoning.
ARIA's real power comes from these core abilities. See, it's not just reading words, it's pulling out data and linking it together into what are called semantic triplets, which is just a fancy way of saying it creates simple facts like invoice 123 is for shipment ABC. Then it runs a 6-layer check on all those facts to find anything that doesn't add up. It even scores the financial risk of every transaction, and, this is key, it learns from every single correction, so it gets smarter and smarter over time.
Okay, now we get to the really cool part. Let's look at the core AI models that give ARIA the ability to not just read, but to actually reason about what it's reading. This is the secret sauce that separates it from basic automation.
First up is a technology called Layout LM. Now this AI doesn't just see a block of text, it understands the document's layout, the actual position of the words on the page, and that's absolutely critical. It knows that a number in the top right corner is probably the invoice number, but that same number in a table under a column labeled tax is, well, the tax amount. It reads the form structure pretty much the same way you or I would.
The second piece of the puzzle is what's called graph-theoretic reconciliation. Sounds complicated, but the idea is brilliant. Instead of just comparing one field to another, ARIA builds a kind of knowledge graph that connects all the data points from all 3 documents. It basically becomes a detective. It can spot logical problems a human might miss, like flagging an invoice where the delivery date on the POD is somehow before the shipment date on the lorry receipt. That's a logical impossibility, and ARIA finds it instantly.
And this is really what makes ARIA such a massive leap forward. Older, rule-based systems are just so brittle. They need a perfect template for every single document. If one of your vendors changes their invoice layout even slightly, the whole system breaks. ARIA, on the other hand, uses Transformer AI, so it can understand pretty much any document format you throw at it, and it's constantly learning. It's built for the real, messy world.
Okay, so we've seen the what and the why. Now let's get into the how. We're going to take a look inside the ARIA architecture and see the 5-module engine that actually puts all this incredible AI to work.
The whole system is basically a 5-stage pipeline. It starts with the ingestion layer, which just takes in all the messy documents, PDFs, images, you name it.
Then, the extraction engine with layout LM pulls out all the important data. That info flows to the reconciliation core, where that knowledge graph we talked about finds any discrepancies. Then the risk and routing hub decides what to do: approve it, flag it for a human, or reject it. And finally, the learning and audit engine logs every single action and uses it to get smarter for the next time. It's a complete, end-to-end intelligent workflow.
Now, you might be thinking a system this advanced must take years to get up and running, but ARIA was actually designed for a smooth deployment. Let's look at the clear, step-by-step plan that takes it from an idea to a full rollout in a real business.
And here it is, a 26-week journey, all broken down into 6 clear phases. You can see how it just moves logically from getting the data ready and building the core AI to integrating it, letting it learn, running a safe pilot, and then finally the full company-wide rollout. This isn't just a concept, it's a well-planned, executable project.
So after all that tech and all that planning, what's the actual bottom line? This is the part that really matters to any business, the measurable impact. This is where we see how ARIA literally transforms invoice reconciliation from a necessary evil into a source of strategic intelligence. The impact on speed alone is just incredible. A process that used to take up to a week now happens in less than 4 hours for most documents. That's a speed up of over 90%. That one change can totally transform a company's relationship with its vendors and free up so much working capital.
But it's not just about speed. The amount of manual work is cut by 85%, which means your finance team can stop chasing paper and start doing more valuable work. Accuracy is over 94%, and it catches over 98% of discrepancies. But here's the big one. Financial leakage from errors and fraud is cut by over 95%. It catches the problems before the money goes out the door.
And I think this quote from the team that designed ARIA really says it all. This isn't some far-off research project. They're making it clear that this is a real enterprise-ready solution they can start building on day one. That's a huge statement of confidence.
So, we'll end on this thought right here. By using this kind of advanced AI, a process that was always just a tedious, error-prone chore gets completely transformed. It actually becomes a source of intelligence that can spot fraud patterns, find issues with suppliers, and give you a real competitive edge. So the question isn't just about saving money anymore, it's about what new insights you could unlock when you finally solve this problem for good.